So here we are, again back in KTM BGC, where the kind folks of KTM Philippines will be lending us one of their premium bikes, the Duke 790, for us to use over the long weekend holiday. So paperwork's done and usual inspection completed. We're off to the Tagaytay to have this bike reviewed. So off we go. Alright, so this is the KTM Duke 790, which is often called the Scalpel. Obviously derived from its very sharp angles, which follows the KTM's modern design philosophy of making the motorcycles super edgy, futuristic, and with a minimal approach in overall design. However, unlike the other naked motorcycles from KTM, the Duke 790 comes with a few proper body panels here and there, making it look even beefier. As a matter of fact, I do observe I seem to have the more appropriate proportions with me on this bike, contrary to when I ride my Duke 390, where the bike seems to be small for my 5'10" height. This bike has the 1290 Super Duke R as an inspiration, having the same diamond-shaped headlamp assembly from the Super Duke R, but also with its 1290 Super Duke R inspired bodyworks and features, positioning itself as a replacement to the aging Duke 690. But before anything else, let's do a quick spec for this bike. This bike is powered by a 799cc LC8 parallel twin-cylinder 8 valves DOHC engine, which produces about 105 bhp of power and 87 Nm of torque. Just to give you a comparison, that is more than twice the output of a Duke 390. And with a weight of only 169 kilograms, which, if you need to know, that is only about less than 10 kilograms heavier than the lightweight Duke 390, which is not really much. Just imagine the acceleration of this bike in consideration of the awesome power to weight ratio that it has. Definitely that would lift your butt right off the seats as you take off full throttle. That is why normally first-time riders are advised to put the Duke 790's riding mode to range settings just to limit the torque of this bike and not have accidental wheelies for newbies who will be using this bike, because the torque of this bike is really that good. But then, if you are one who is used to the punchy acceleration of the Duke 390, then that is something you would find to be quite familiar, hence would be easy to adjust to. But just the same, the Duke 790 is packed with impressive technologies to handle such awesome power from the bike. It has 4 ride settings to control the bike in different riding conditions, and if that's not enough, it also has an anti-wheelie and traction control system to ensure that you would be able to handle the torque of this bike and keep the tires fully planted on the road. On twisties, one would really find that aside from the standard ABS, cornering ABS is really a great feature available in the Duke 790. And together with a slipper clutch, which prevents the rear wheels from locking up under hard deceleration or when downshifting. The riders get to enter corners more confidently. But apart from that, the handling of the Duke 790 is very precise, especially when attacking the corners. It features the well-known KTM suspension setup sourced from WP, which included a pair of upside-down telescopic front forks and a preload adjustable monoshock with double-sided alloy swing arms at the rear. It should also be noted that this bike comes with a built-in steering damper at the front and has a slightly longer wheelbase, which adds to the bike's stability at speed, especially in the expressways. However, unlike the other KTM naked motorcycles, it features a modest-looking tubular frame in place of a more premium trellis one, which it hides with a Y-shaped silver finish rear side body panels. Nevertheless, whether it is due to the rigid and compact tubular chassis or just because of the good geometry of the bike, somehow the bike gives you that confidence and stability to give the bike greater lean angles on corners. But then, I guess it would be best to take this bike for a ride and get our impressions of the bike as we go. So, let's go! Okay, first off, it is quite surprising how easy it is to handle this bike. Do note that the only time I have ridden another big bike is that one with a Z1000, and that bike is very heavy, really heavy. Even a Honda CB650R weighs in at around 202 kilograms. So imagine how surprised I am to see how light this 790 is, at only 169 kilograms. It is as if I am only riding my Duke 390 with bags and all. And not only is it very light for a middleweight category bike, the seat height is just about right, even lower than a Svartbilen. These make it easy to maneuver the bike around, even on city traffic, where the light frame of the bike and ample turning radius of the handlebar makes filtering through tight corners and parked vehicles seems like riding just like a standard bike. This is actually really a good thing because what this bike really hates is getting stuck in traffic. As you know, engine heat is something common to KTM bikes, but the Duke 790 brings it to another level. It is really hot and really has the tendency to overheat when stuck in traffic. So as much as you can avoid getting stuck in traffic, you better plan your trip ahead and find better routes where you can ride your 790 more freely. Now, I have imagined riding a bigger bike to the expressways. Honestly, I sometimes do get frustrated with the Duke 390, wanting to get that extra horses to push the bike a little faster on overtakings and in straightaways. But with the 790, it does not disappoint. It delivers the power with more to boot, and surprisingly just on second gear. I get to bring the 790 to speed the Duke 390 takes forever to achieve. And in the city, overtaking is as easy as flipping the throttle just a bit. I don't recall ever having to go beyond half throttle, even in the expressways. Short of saying, I haven't really unlocked the full potential of this bike, and yet I am already overly satisfied with the power it delivers. And the stability and precise movement of the bike gives you that confidence to take in more speed or take the corners more aggressively. Hard to pinpoint exactly what is different, but you would definitely feel a more solid ride, even on high speeds. The steering damper and longer wheelbase do get the job done. Not only that, you would feel the sleeper clutch and the cornering ABS activating on occasional aggressive maneuvers on corners, making it easier to handle the bike and avoid unwanted spills in the process. This bike is equipped with a TFT display similar to that of the Duke 390, albeit smaller in size but packed with a lot more information. Too much information, as a matter of fact, quite a bit confusing to unfamiliar eyes. But you get to appreciate them when you get used to them and familiarize yourself with the information available. You get to access the different settings through the main switches on your left, even on the go. But as always, do avoid doing that while the bike is moving to avoid getting into unwanted accidents. Now, as for the looks department, this Duke 790 has very aggressive outer appearance, somehow reminiscent of the 1290 Super Duke, especially if seen from the front. The fuel tank has this high bulge design, which may be inspired from its supermoto range of motorcycles, and together with its sharp edge panels, these give the bike a very muscular appearance and actually makes the bike quite big and meaty. I did get quite a number of remarks telling me that the size of the bike seems to be more proportionate to my height than my Duke 390. I am 5'10", and this bike did not look small when I am on it, unlike when I am on my Duke 390. What also seems to be eye-catching about this bike is its upswept exhaust canister. Usually, bikes of this size have their mufflers either as an underbelly or at the side of the swing arm. But the 790 chooses it to be swept up just like how scramblers normally do. And this adds to its charisma as being unique. But not only is it an eye candy, the exhaust note coming off from this bike, even on stock exhaust, is way too good already. I'm not really a fan of noisy mufflers, but this one gives a low rumble on idle and a good bass when accelerating to show off some grunt. Somehow you would hear that the note from the Duke 790's twin-cylinder engine is quite different than those of other two-cylinders, particularly those of NK 400s or the Ninjas. That of the Duke 790 is more refined and nice to hear. Nothing screams of a big bike than having those chunky, fat tires. Now, I was not able to get a good reading of the fuel consumption, primarily because it may not be that accurate. I just loved hearing the grunt of the engine, and tended to rev up every chance I could and simply used that instead of the horn, especially in slow-moving traffic. Forgive me for that, but I do get this good feeling every time. But nevertheless, the bike is really good looking and still definitely gets those eyes looking at it, especially at stoplights, even without me revving the engine. This bike was originally priced at 828,000 pesos when it was first released here in the Philippines, with units coming straight from Austria. Now, with the assembly of the Duke 790 done from their plant in Santa Rosa, Laguna, this bike is now being offered at a steal price of 599,000 pesos. Considering all the features and technology packed into this bike, that price is one good bargain, a real value for your money. So I guess that's it. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and share. And if you're new to my channel, do subscribe to BossTL PH and click that notification bell to be notified of our new uploads. Again, as I always say, stay awesome, stay safe, see you in the next episode. Bye for now.